Well, obviously thrilled to be 5-0, and anytime you have the opportunity to win a conference game by, a 16-point margin, there's a lot of good that happened in here tonight, and it's great to have our students back. The electricity, the way Mikhail felt here tonight, I'd have a hard time believing that there's an arena in the country, and I mean all of them, no matter where they're located, that is any better than the one that we just played in. And obviously we're very fortunate to have that. I talked to our team a lot about that you don't ever rely on our arena and the fans. They should be thrilled to react to our effort and the way we play and to earn it all over again. Just because we have a home game doesn't mean we're going to play well and win, that you have to be ready. The beginning of the game set the tone. We were ready. 25 assists. I don't know a coach that wouldn't be happy with 25 assists in a conference game. We really shared the ball. And Lowry was spectacular tonight. 12 for 18 from the floor, 4 for 7 from 3. Can't believe he missed 2 free throws. 8 rebounds, but 5 offensive rebounds, and that was a big challenge we gave him. 30 points and no turnovers in 30 minutes. And I think against Colorado, he had 22 points in 22 minutes. He had 30 points in 30 minutes. Thinking about playing him 40 minutes in the next game to see if he can get 40. But he was spectacular. He's above and beyond the freshman. He's obviously an incredible offensive player who really is improving on defense. Some other guys played well. Dusan and Chance, I thought, used our size against ASU to our advantage. But having said that, we gave up 50 points in a half. We weren't as ready at the beginning of the second half. And you know what? ASU is a really good offensive team. They're hard to defend. They shoot the three very well. I think they came into the game going about 9 or 10 for 27 per game. And if you look at the stat sheet, they're 10 for 27. It felt funny because they were 0 for 9 from 3 in the first half. We probably had a lot to do with that. But to their credit, you make 10 threes in a half, that has to be close to a Mikhail record. I know since I've been here, maybe BYU, 10 threes in one half. I don't remember too many times that's happened. So we'll address that, but very happy with the win. And again, I thought our guys are ready to play tonight.
You had a guy who you said was sensational, but then you have Kadeem, who was equally sensational on the defensive end, and he did so much. Your thoughts on him?
Kadeem does it every night. I think he's one of the best defenders in our conference, if not the nation. One of the many attributes that he has defensively is, he's versatile. I mean, he doesn't guard just one player. He can guard 2 or 3 in the same game. At one time out, I asked the guys, is there any way that we could have more than one Kadeem? Can we make 2 or 3 of them here for the second half? Because we didn't necessarily have an answer outside of him there for stretches. But we shifted him on to Torian Graham, and he did a good job. He shifted him on to Trey Holder or Shannon Evans. And let me say this, Trey Holder, Shannon Evans, Torian Graham, those guys are really good players. They're really good. Oleka, very tough matchup, and, Bobby does a great job of being creative and putting him in mismatch situations. And unless you can take advantage of it on the offensive glass and when you have the ball, it's a tough fight. And, tonight, out-rebounding them 38-22, and some of the bigs that we have playing the way they did, it offset the fact that they made 10 threes on us.
You mentioned the 25 assists on 34 field goals. It felt like there were a ton of alley-oops. It almost looked like the best ball movement in maybe over a year, in a long time. What was it? As good?
We did. We moved the ball, and, when we didn't move the ball, we didn't get good shots. We didn't. There were times in the first half where we got to the end of the clock, and, Kadeem had to take one just because he had the ball. But on those possessions, we were hunting shots. And, sometimes when you're up big, you have individual players who start looking up there, kind of asking that question of how many points do I have? And it takes away from their effort on defense, and it can take away from ball movement. I'm not necessarily saying that was the case with us, but, you wonder because our intensity, our togetherness, we had some breakdowns defensively in the second half that we didn't have in the first half. So we addressed that. Look, you're not going to be perfect every game. You're not going to be perfect for 40 minutes. I understand that. We did some great things tonight. We're thrilled to have won the game. But I do think that when you give up 50 in the second half and you gave up 25 in the first half, that has to be addressed because a lot of times it bleeds into the next game. And the place we're going next, we have to be at our best to have any chance at all, both at SC and UCLA.
How does this set you up for next week, confidence-wise or whatever you need to get ready for next week?
We're a confident group. We're a confident team. Sometimes we don't finish games, and we don't have that excellent play for the entirety. If you'd ask me why, I'll go back to what I always say about our group. We have 3 freshmen in the starting lineup that, again, never have played against ASU. Don't understand a team that shoots the basketball the way they do, how quickly the game can change. And, I bet if you follow ASU closely, you would see that because they rely on the three-point shot so much, there are stretches where it doesn't go in, but then there's those stretches where they can get back in the same game. So you really have to do a great job of defending the three-point shot. There are times when we did defend it, and it went in anyway. Again, we're moving on, and excited to go to LA. We know we have a big, big challenge ahead of us.
How good is your team, Sean? How do you evaluate your team?
We're 16-2. We're 5-0 in the Pac-12. We have a young group. We have a very coachable team, a bunch of unselfish guys. I think Kadeem Allen is our team's heart and soul. Parker is not 100%. The one thing that I'm excited about is this next 7-day window gives him a chance to get some rest. And then he'll be at 7 weeks since he got hurt. And I think he'll have that next kind of gear that maybe he doesn't quite have. He's doing the best job that he can, but, we want him to be 100%. He wants to be 100%, and we need him to be moving forward.
How do you balance rest this week with a young team at the same time, not messing up the role you're on right now?
Well, we're going to take tomorrow off. We have a weekend of no game. They might know it, maybe they don't. That's really to my advantage as the coach. We're going to really practice very hard, and we're not really worried about anything other than the quality and what we can get done in these 2 days. And then we have a chance to take like a second day off early in the week, which probably will be Monday. And then hopefully get ready to go to LA and play our best because we have to play great basketball in LA to win either game, in my opinion.
Can you talk about the way you can attack with 2 7-footers and one who's so good on the perimeter? Does that give you something special?
That's one of the reasons that we have the record that we have. And, Dusan, I would like to think he's one of the most improved players in the country. He does it game in, game out. He's much better on defense as well. The other thing that happened tonight is Kobe Simmons was in a rut in the last 2 games. He didn't shoot the ball well. He lost a little confidence. He had a great week of practice, and it was nice to see him make some shots. He really can shoot the ball, and he worked hard for 4 days. And, you look at his game, he had 13 points, 5 assists, 4 defensive rebounds in 33 minutes. And, he did some really good things offensively as well.
5 assists, 3 steals, no turnovers today, 23 minutes. One of those kind of
Yep.
classic Parker games where that's what you want from him. Has he turned the corner in his kind of return?
He's playing well. I think the last part is just him to feel good about his shot, which will come back. But we're ecstatic to have him back. He gives us something that we didn't have when he was out, and he's not 100%. Again, I only tell you that because I think there's a next level that he can get to. And I think that will happen.
Can you talk real quick about Markkanen's personality? He comes in, scores 30, does a lot of things, then he's so understated. Like he just walked out the bus or something. He's just kind of here.
He's all business. There's no screwing around with him. It's about him working hard. He loves the game. He's here to win. He's here to become better. He never compromises that ever. In a shoot-around, in a practice, in a game, it's all business. Business. He is unflappable in terms of his demeanor and his effort, and he's one of the great kids and hard workers that I've had the pleasure of coaching or been around. But You know, you guys sometimes say, man, you're all business. He's all business. He doesn't, there's no messing around, man. He came here for a clear purpose, and that purpose is never compromised, and everybody knows it. But, you know, tonight he broke out a little bit more, but as you know, he's been really close to doing this about 4 or 5 times.
You mentioned his minutes production. The scoring per minute is the same as the other night, but not being in foul trouble, did he play differently in your opinion? You know, when you didn't have to worry about that?
No, you know, I think teams try to get him in foul trouble, but, you know, it's more experience than ability. It's not that he can't keep up or, oh my goodness, you're going to be in problems if he has to guard this other player. He can do it. Just becoming a little bit more smart, becoming smarter. You know, experience is everything. Getting through game experience so he learns his lessons. He learned quite a bit from the Utah-Colorado game. We talked. We watched film, him and I, for a long period of time, just on a couple of his fouls and different things that we were trying to emphasize. And again, he's a very willing learner. If you say 2 o'clock film, he's there at 5 to 2, and he's locked in. He's going to try to learn what you're teaching him.
He hit those 3 threes back to back to back, and you can probably go to him almost every night to do that. He has that potential.
Against zones in particular, you know, he's such a weapon because he's 7 feet shooting the ball. So, you know, sometimes the size of a zone can affect three-point shooters. With him, he really shoots over people because he's so tall. But you know, he's a really good shooter now. I mean, he's not just a 7-footer who can shoot. If he was 6'2", he's a really good shooter. And again, I'm not gonna downplay who he is. You know, he's an exceptional player. He's a great kid. Really, really excited that we have him. And you know, I think he's only going to grow and get better from here because of his tremendous work ethic and attitude.
Do you think you're going to see Lowry shoot the ball as much as he did tonight against a team like UCLA, where you know you're going to need offense to keep up with them?
Yeah, I mean, we want him to shoot it every game, no matter who we play against, you know. And tonight, you know, he had maybe a few extra looks, but if you have 5-second shots, that's one of the reasons he had 18 field goals. And that's something we talked to him about. In the Pac-12, he was about a little over 1 a game in terms of offensive rebounds. Tonight, he had 5 offensive rebounds, and I'd be willing to bet he scored on maybe 2 or 3 of them, maybe got fouled on 1 other. So, you know, again, using his size around the basket is also something that he's learning how to do.
Coach, in terms of transition, you looked like in the first half, the tempo was really high. You guys are scoring a lot of points. In terms of minutes and balancing everything and defensively, is that the ideal half you guys would like to play?
I mean, yes, you know, we don't want guys to play heavy minutes. If you start playing guys 39 minutes, something's compromised, and I pretty much know what that is. They're always going to play hard on offense, but they're gonna start taking a break on defense. And you know, I think for our team to be the best we can be as a group, you know, you have to have guys who can play hard all the time. And you know, that's almost like a skill these days. And the hardest group to get to do that are the freshmen, because they're the youngest, they're the most inexperienced. But you know, all 3 of them, not just Lowry, Kobe, Raleigh, Lowry, those guys are all very, very coachable, and they're a fun group to coach.
Did you happen to see TJ's game winner against the Knicks?
Yeah, I mean, you guys asked me a lot about TJ. He's a great story. You know, we're proud of him that he's from our program. A lot like Lowry, the only thing he worried about when he was at Arizona was helping his teammates become NBA players and winning. And it's just interesting to see him have so much success as an NBA guard. He has a terrible contract, so I'm hoping that for his case, that thing should be about 10 times based on some of the money these guys are making. That's the best bargain in the NBA right now the Sixers have.
We haven't really talked on Raleigh rather much tonight, and he had a couple really impressive dunks. Are you looking to use him kind of the way you did Rondé with his athleticism?
Yeah, you know, Raleigh didn't score as much tonight. It's kind of surprising. But he did do some really good things. I mean, 4 assists, 1 turnover. Some of his passes tonight were great passes, timely, big plays. You know, part of why we had 25 assists, or, you know, Kobe and Raleigh combined for 9 assists themselves. So he did some other things. You know, we talk after the game, once in a while you're not going to have a big night scoring, but you can do other things. And he's a winner. He really is. He's trying, like Lowry, to become better. And but he didn't score as much tonight, but he will in the future.
Coach, if you had known before the season, no Terrence Ferguson, no Ray Smith, no Alonzo Trier, could you have imagined you guys would be in the kind of great situation you are right now?
No, I wouldn't have. And, I have my fingers crossed that we can keep going and keep improving. But the guys that are playing are doing a great job. And, sometimes when you have the situation we have, the speculation is on who's not here. But, for me, the guys that are playing in games, I mean, they're doing a great job. They really are. The expectations of a freshman class, UCLA's freshmen get a lot of accolades, and rightfully so. I mean, they've made a big difference, and they're great players. But if you look at our team, our 3 freshmen, and Keanu, the 4 guys that weren't here last year, they have done a great job for us. Just look at the stats, think about what they mean to our team, and that's a big reason why we're successful right now.
Looking ahead to next week, just your thought about Andy Enfield and how quickly he's been able to be successful at USC.
He's done a great job. He really has. Last year, this year, building the program and the non-conference season that he's had, he brought a lot to the table, and they're a really good team. Quality talent, well coached, play a fun style, and Steve Alford. I think he has a team that can win the national championship. I mean, both of them have really pulled up the Pac-12 this year. You go to Kentucky and beat Kentucky. That not only helps UCLA, that helps our entire conference. So we know they're both very, very good. I think the 6 trips that we've gone to LA were 2 and 4 at both places. It's been a struggle. It's always a hard trip. And like I said, we have to address the second half and make sure that we don't carry that second half into LA, because we're not going to be very successful. We have to get back to who we were on defense in the first half.